This is a stimulus check update and daily news report. And with Omicron cases on the rise, does that mean Congress could pass another stimulus check? I'll give you two articles talking about that, as well as this article right here, 5 ways to apply for stimulus check payments in 2022. Here's who's eligible to get New Year cash from next week. And Pramila Jayapal wants to have executive action when it comes to passing the Build Back Better bill by President Biden. And I'll give you some other updates from Democrat and Republican perspectives about the Build Back Better plan. I'll give you some other important updates as well. Hope you're having a more than mundane Monday. If you appreciate the fact-based, fast-paced updates, hit the like button down below, and hope you had a great Christmas weekend. Finally back home, back in the office to give you some more content. So let's get right into it. Fauci says COVID cases will go much higher as Omicron spread continues, warns against getting complacent. So I think a lot of people are getting complacent about Omicron because we heard that although it spreads a lot faster, it may not be as severe. But what are your thoughts on that? Do you agree, disagree? Are you worried about Omicron, not worried? So what he says here is cases of COVID-19 are likely to keep going up and surging as rapidly spreading Omicron variant continues to tick up across the globe, U.S. infectious disease experts Dr. Fauci said on Sunday. So talking about the cases here, quick update. So if we look down here, we can see that cases are back up. If we look at today's December 27th. So December 27th, it was around 189 cases. I don't know why I'm not getting that. But yeah, so then here, 189 cases as of yesterday, December 26th. So we're about the same as it was a year ago, but you can see it's going up a lot higher and a lot faster than last year. So which brings the question, for a fourth stimulus check, will Congress pass another payment as Omicron sparks an increase in cases? So I'll go over that more later on, but also this one right here, over 1,000 more U.S. flights canceled amid Omicron's COVID surge. So if you got caught out in airports over the weekend and for Christmas, I feel really bad for you because thousands of flights and they're still canceled due to what's going on with the variant and crews not being able to work the flights, flight attendants. So variant cases, ground crews, and forced tens of thousands of Christmas weekend travelers to change plans. So that was a big mess over the weekend. When it comes to the Build Back Better, Pramila Jayapal urges Biden to take executive action to deliver Build Back Better for Americans. So she mentioned this a few days ago, but she is still on it. She still wants that to happen. Another headline here, Representative Jayapal urges Biden to use executive action to deliver spending plan. So this article just came out 4 hours ago. So this is still current that she's still on this executive action kick. So what she says here is taking executive action will also make clear to those who hinder Build Back Better that the White House and Democrats will deliver for Americans, as she wrote in a Washington Post op-ed. Jayapal said the caucus would continue to work toward legislation for Build Back Better focused on keeping it as close to the agreed upon framework as possible. She added the group would soon release its own plan for actions, including lowering costs for protecting the health of every family and showing the world that the U.S. is serious about our leadership on climate action. So it looks like that Pramila Jayapal wants executive action now, and they're going to have a detailed plan coming out soon. So I'll let you know what happens there. She also takes this chance to bash on Joe Manchin, saying that Jayapal alleged in the op-ed that Manchin went back on his commitment to the president and seemingly killed the bill on national television. So Pramila Jayapal basically saying that if it can't be done through reconciliation because of Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema, then President Biden will do it alone. We don't know the details or the power that President Biden has to pass certain parts of the Build Back Better bill, but probably going to get chopped up and maybe pieces will be passed here and there. We'll see what happens with that. I'll keep you updated. And Maryland Senator sees possible comeback for Build Back Better, so saying there is unanimity in our caucus that we want to get the bill to the president, according to Senator Ben Cardin. Here is more of what he has to say on that.
The White House ends the year on defense as the president's social spending bill takes a crushing blow in the midst of Democratic infighting. Joining us now, Democratic Senator Ben Cardin of Maryland. Senator, welcome back to Fox News Sunday.
Mike, it's good to be with you. Thanks.
Majority Leader Chuck Schumer sent out a Dear Colleague letter this week in which he said there will be a vote on Build Back Better. And President Biden said he thinks there's still a possibility of getting the bill done. Senator, what's the path forward to actually getting the legislation passed as it is now when the math clearly isn't there?
Well, Mike, not only did the Majority Leader send a letter out, we also had a caucus this past week, last week, and there is unanimity in our caucus that we want to get a bill to the president, and we are working to see what that bill will contain. President Biden's directly involved in these negotiations. We need to deal with the affordability of child care because it affects our workforce and having workers available for our economy. We got to deal with the cost of higher education. We know working families have tax issues. We've got to extend certain tax provisions to help working families and families with children. There are things that need to get done that shouldn't be partisan. We should be able to get these issues worked out. We are prepared to move. We just need to make sure we have unanimity in our caucus, and that's what we're working on. And we will start on that next week when we return.
To your point, are Democrats open to scaling it back even more or passing various pieces as standalones, maybe attracting Senator Manchin or even some GOP on some of these issues?
Well, that's a strategy decision that's being negotiated. We are open to a way to reach the finish line. We want to make it as comprehensive as possible because the needs are just there. We recognize that families need help on affordability, and that's what this is about, making our economy affordable for families, and it will be fully paid for. That is very clear. We understand the risks of inflation, and we are committed to making sure that we really offset all expenses. So I think with those parameters, we want to see it as comprehensive as possible, but we need to make sure that we have the votes to pass it. So that means it'll be different than some of us would like to see.
Does scaling back the bill to win over moderates risk losing progressives in both the Senate and the House?
Well, we got to find that sweet spot. And I think as long as everyone's at the table as we're negotiating, I know President Biden has always included all parts of our caucus in these discussions. I think we can reach that sweet spot. Look, a lot of us are going to be disappointed, but we're not going to let perfection be the enemy of getting something done. So we need to get something done. I think we'll be pragmatic about it, but we want to make sure it deals with the issues that we're facing in our communities.
Senator Cardin, as well as most other Democrats, are very optimistic still think it's going to get done, but there seems to be some type of disconnect. They want to get it done, and then there's just no bridge in between the two. So what are your thoughts on what Ben Cardin has to say? It doesn't seem like there is a logical plan yet of how they're going to get Joe Manchin on board or have executive actions done through President Biden. But let me know your thoughts on that down in the comments below. And as always, I like to show the Republican perspective too. Keep it balanced. This way you see both sides. So here is Senator Kevin Cramer on the Build Back Better plan.
All they're going to do is keep bashing Joe Manchin. I mean, this is done to discredit Manchin. So I don't really understand the logic. Can you help us?
Well, I can't understand the logic, certainly from a political standpoint, because it's much disfavor as the whole Biden socialist agenda is enjoying, I guess, across the country. I don't know why they'd want to continue it, except that Chuck Schumer has people pulling and pushing and tugging from every possible direction, and I'm sure he's wondering what direction to go. But I do know this, that Joe Manchin may have saved the re-election of 2, 3, or 4 possibly Democratic senators who would have had to vote yes on BBB, on Build Back Better, but would rather not have voted at all. They were awarded this opportunity to give it a pass for a year. And yet they just seem hell-bent on doing it. And maybe there's a whole bunch of Democratic members willing to be martyrs at the altar of socialism. If that's the case, maybe they'll find a way to vote on it yet and further lead to their political demise while destroying the country.
Well, Senator, it just occurs to me in terms of Chuck Schumer's legislative and political strategy, that he may not be calling the shots. AOC may be calling the shots, what some people call Sandy Cortez, the House member, who may run against Schumer in the primaries in New York. But, I mean, he's kowtowing to her and her group. That's what it sounds like.
I don't think there's any question, Larry, that in the back of Chuck Schumer's mind, every move he makes, every vote he calls, he's thinking about AOC and the possibility that she'll run against him in a Democratic primary in New York. I do think that's one of those pressure points I talked about earlier. Now, in addition to that, of course, he's got a White House that's tugging at him. He's got Speaker Pelosi that's pulling. They're all responding to those very same pressure points. But it is, in my mind, what's such a great tragedy about it is that a once great Democratic Party has become this bizarre socialist agenda where they seem to be putting all the chips on the table this year while they have control of the House, the Senate, and the White House. And thank God for Joe Manchin and others like him, but especially Joe Manchin, who has, trying to save America, and in the process may very well save the Democratic Party.
Well, I don't think I'll save the Democratic Party, but I think all of us will help save America. I mean,
Yeah.
Kevin, the country hates this bill, okay?
Yes,
the country just hates this bill.
What are your thoughts on what Senator Kramer has to say? Do you agree, disagree? Which side do you lean a little more to, the Democratic perspective or the Republican perspective? Is the Build Back Better plan a good idea or a bad idea for the country? Let me know your thoughts on that. So when it comes to stimulus check news, fourth stimulus check, will Congress pass another payment as Omicron sparks an increase in cases? Possibly. I'll give you my thoughts in a moment. Let me read over parts of this article. The Omicron variant is leading to a surge in cases, leading some businesses to shut their doors voluntarily. Will Congress pass more stimulus? So, during President Biden's address the nation on Tuesday, he warned in the coming days and weeks, the country could experience a surge in COVID cases. This increase could result in the collapse of hospital systems and a tragic number of deaths. Additionally, many business owners worried that while lockdowns may not be imposed, customers may avoid dining out or shopping to lower risk of contacting the virus. So, in cities like Austin and Chicago, businesses are already shutting their doors voluntarily as staff test positive and business hits a dead halt. So basically what's happening here, although there is not a lockdown, it looks like a lot of people are just scared to go out shopping, scared to frequent businesses that helps out local economies, which could spark more of a need for more stimulus to go out to communities, maybe stimulus checks, maybe other forms of stimulus to businesses. Now, we're not going to see any type of stimulus talk unless things get really bad. Or one other option, if there is the elections coming up as it was last time. So the midterm elections coming up in 2022, just a few days away. We're probably going to start to see campaigning for November of 2022. And stimulus checks may be one of those things that Democrats would wave in front of people's eyes like last time and say, hey, if you vote for me, you get stimulus checks. Sort of how it was with the $2,000 stimulus checks for the the Georgia runoff races. That was the big key to get two Georgia Democrat senators in the Senate. So I'll keep you updated on what happens with that in terms of getting a stimulus check because of the Omicron variant. Also, this article right here, 5 ways to apply for stimulus check payments in 2022. Here's who's eligible to get New Year cash from next week. So basically, it's going over a few different things. I'll go through this really quick for you. So state and city stimulus checks. So a lot of different states and cities are giving out stimulus checks. Some you need to apply for, which I mentioned on this channel. If there are stimulus checks you have to apply for, like St. Louis last week, I like to share with you that information. But so it's talking about here like another Seattle Relief Fund, which is offering one-time checks of $3,000. So that's one way. And then it talks about universal basic income payments. That's another thing that you may have to apply for. So it's going on, for example, in Chicago, residents making less than $35,000 in Chicago can receive $500 monthly payments, as well as $1,000 in Los Angeles, teens in Louisiana, so a lot of different random payments there. Then the child tax credit in 2022, which is still up for grabs. If you got the child tax credit in 2021, you could get the other half in 2022. But in terms of monthly payments starting up again, we don't know if it's going to happen anytime soon. Not going to happen in January 15th for those payments, but it could happen in February if the Build Back Better plan passes. Updated tax returns. So this is also talking about if you had a baby in 2021, then you're eligible for a $1,400 check there. Also talking about there's certain tax credits you could take advantage of, the earned income tax credit or sort of like the adult tax credit. Other ways to get cash. So the fifth way, this doesn't really relate to stimulus, is talking about cash back programs like Ibotta, Top Cash Back. Not really relative to stimulus, and not a lot of people could take advantage of it unless you're doing shopping and a lot of shopping and you want to get 1 to 2% back on those shopping purchases. So when it comes to it, can Americans expect stimulus checks in 2022? It's possible. I would think things need to get a lot worse in terms of a general fourth stimulus check. A lot of cities and states are still giving out their own stimulus checks. But with midterm elections coming up and Democrats don't want to lose their position in the House and Senate, we may see stimulus checks come from them. That is all the stimulus news that I have for you today to hopefully cheer you up a bit. Here's my daughter Bella's tip of the day.
Guys, I didn't see you there. Hi guys, this is Belle. This is the tip of the day. So I wanted to tell you something that you should do. Hi guys, what are you doing? Sorry, that's my sister. If you want to do something and you can't find something, you have to do what you want to do and make another something. If you can't do the first one, then go on to the next one, because you have to stay positive and good and have good relationships with some friends, and you should always be good enough. Bye. That's all I wanted to tell you.
Thank you so much for watching. Appreciate your support. So here are some more pictures and videos from over the weekend with Christmas. Had a great time. I got my younger daughter Kalea a little tricycle, which she loves. She absolutely loves it. And then my older daughter Bella, 8 years old, we got her a scooter, which is pretty cool. So yeah, they love that. They're riding around all the time, just want to take some strolls with it. We walk behind them. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun with that. And what did I get? I'm kind of weird, one of those weird guys. So I just wanted to get some protein powders, some green powders, and some like medicinal mushroom powders. That's pretty much what I wanted. Sometimes supplements could be expensive, so I got that as gifts. Anyways, if you want to check out my latest videos, my Wise Buys video with my wife Christine talking about a gluten-free powder, you could click up here. And I'll see you in the next video. Take care, be safe. Thank you for watching.